setting up kills for his team. I think it has the potential, but I don't even know what do you buy on Klinks? Is it still just like the Maelstrom type of build with like Falcon Blade and stuff like this, or is it something else?
I think we've it used to be like because you just rush the Bloodthorn, right? You can go some sort of walking blood, and then you can sort of sneak around the map, look to open up these opportunities. But I think it's definitely still a hero that there's people have experimented different things. We're rushing different things with for sure. Whether you still want to go for just like the Deso build up, just go for the full damage, the Deso into Daedalus, and just try and shred through heroes.
I do think the Klinks is a bit underrated. As I remember seeing, I think the main player who's actually been experimenting with the Klinks has been Yatoro.
Oh boy.
In recent tournaments, at least. And it looks pretty strong. So I'm kind of excited to see this hero.
Exquisite. Exquisite.
Let's see what Otaka can do with this.
Exquisite.
So we'll be set up. See if either team wants to go for the sort of smoke play here to start things.
Yeah.
Imagine VPs will probably be more on the defensive. I think level 1, 4 Pirates could definitely do that a little bit more aggressively.
30 seconds to battle.
It seems kind of rare nowadays that you actually get something out of level 1, like have a fight or somebody gets caught first blood. Like, it doesn't happen as much anymore. I think it's kind of a big mistake, I think, if you let the enemy get first blood before the runes spawn.
Yeah, it does feel far too risky. So only just the 2 for 2 coming into play.
Oh, look at what the Drow has been doing in top lane.
You're in deep now.
He's been cutting out all the trees here, getting more vision, right? So he can position himself against the shaman, get more right clicks in with the Quelling Blades. I think that's a kind of not something you see every game.
Yeah, definitely going to make it a bit more difficult for your aerial to play the lane. It's going to be one of those lanes as well that after you've got kind of like level 3 on the Drow, they can definitely look to get aggressive against this offlane duo and try and bully the Bristle. So we'll see how much of a pre-farm V2 can find here. Up on the top. As down on the bottom. And Klinks, can these two pressure the Klinks? Like, how solid is a Klinks laning stage nowadays?
I think Klinks is a very strong laner. The times I've played against it, I've been surprised how much damage this hero deals, even early on. Of course, he can also get caught out from a lift. Some level 3 timing from Doom Rubik can net a kill, but I would expect the Tusk Klinks to be ahead in this lane.
Top lane Rain was just able to walk up and take out Ariel's courier. Did have Ariel's Sentry and Mango on. Mid lane. Oh, it's going to be down bottom. That's the first blood. Not what you want to be seeing if you're VP there. 4 Pirates getting first blood for their carry.
Actually, like we talked about the carry Doom being good because, you don't have this situation where you get put in the offlane and have a rough lane, right? This could be one of those times where the Doom struggles a lot to come back into this game, especially laning up against a lane like Tusk Klinks, right? You might just, if you start going bad, you might just keep dying over and over. You can't really do anything when Tusk gets on top of you.
Absolutely, yeah. Now that with the tag team, the Klinks' damage coming in, it's a lot for a Doom in the early levels. So Otaka, I mean, CS of course has definitely been slowed down. They're trying to look towards Pedanic. have to be careful. Any sort of chance the Botanic gets to turn, set up for Otica to bring the damage in could warrant them more kills here on the safe lane for 4Pirates.
Pedantic.
Is it?
Yeah. The 4 in Russian is like CH sound.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I looked up the pronunciation of the bristleback, because I know that's Mr. Morale. So we got that one.
That's good. That would have been hard otherwise. I think another thing to note is the Facet Shaman. The Shaman Facet choice this game could have been an argument for the Chicken Fingers, right? Playing into Naga, killing off the illusions with one hit. But he does choose the massive Serpent Ward, which I think is kind of underrated.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy now with, I think it was the most recent patch, the one before it, where it got the buff.
Yeah. Yep.
Top lane. Keeping the pressure on him. We're already starting to see, you know, V-Tune able to get some damage in onto Mr. Morale on the Bristle. Keeping him, making sure he's not constantly at full HP. And CS for V-Tune stays super solid. 17 last hits for the 3 at the moment. Having a bit of an easier time with the CS. We'll see bottom lane. Going to try and lean in here with the snowball on towards Antares. But the tag team and the right clicks flying through. Needs one more. They've got him. Tar bombs there. Again, the 2 of them. The Clink's Tusk lane showing how successful the offensive potential is from these 2 early on.
He does get the ice armor though, which is a big win, I think, for the Doom. Makes a very big difference, but I mean, is it enough though?
Telekinesis come in and yeah, that will be enough to save him. And not easy. In terms of regen, he's still got a tango left here on Dahak and does have a salve. But as you can see on the CS, he is not getting a lot out of the lane at all. Only 10 CS so far here. Top, look at the reel in onto Ariel. Mr. Morale's going to head over, start to force back the Drow, so V-Tune can't continue to chase. But he doesn't want to continue to chase anyway. Wants to get back to the creeps, being pushed in under the tower. Continue to stay up top there with the CS here as this Drow.
So far so good for the Bristleback though. I think he's closing in on that Vanguard. I've seen this matchup be absolutely devastating for the Bristleback to the point where, you know, after 3 minutes he can't come up anymore into the lane. But this is looking a lot different, and actually he's leading the CS charge for Radiant, so I think you know, should definitely be happy about that. I think once the Vanguard comes online, it gets a bit more annoying to get rid of him.
Yeah, definitely unlikely that V-Tune will be able to bully him out the lane on his own once the Vanguard's online. So it could be continued pretty solid farm for the Bristle, and not really any kind of clear combos that can kind of bring down the Bristle early. It's not going to be the easiest hero to rotate into. In the mid lane, Lorenoff did get bullied kind of out of the lane, so has to take this walk back to base. Hasn't quite hit the 6 yet either, so no quick chance to jump in and out of the lane. And meanwhile, whereas obviously on the side for Pirates, Natty Narwhal, he's got the 6. He's got that Rolling Thunder ready to play with. So VP definitely got to be careful around the mid. And this little bit of a period before they have 6 on their own mid laner. A bit of rotation coming in. Ariel and Pedantic seeing what they can find around the high ground. They've got eyes on Dahak. They would love to try and set up for Otica to get another opportunity to tackle the Doom. Dahak's got to be careful. Might feel a little too overconfident here with the ice armor. Steps up. Supports, can they find the angle to get in on this? They're going to try. I'll throw down the blood grenade. Is there going to be any backup coming in for Dahak? As they're locking down with the shackles, no TPs are coming in, so VP, they're just going to let their offlaner fall.
Yeah, and this is right before the 7-minute wisdom is spawning, right? You do have the Naga rotating around the Bristleback, but there's a Vanguard on him. It's going to be very hard for him to get rid of him. The real Indo, oh my god.
We'll see at the same time the pressure down bottom. Antares is trying to sort of draw their attention away, but it is going to mean that the wisdom's there for them. But as you say on the other side, Rain able to make sure they get the trade.
Oh, he reeled in the Bristleback onto the cliff. That's what happened.
Did he? Yeah, because we were watching. We were watching down bottom. Yeah.
Oh my god, they would have lost to Wisdoms, but the real end.
That's down bottom. They're going to lose Dahak again. Comes back into the lane. He's having a rough one now, Misery. This Doom is... I mean, we see the tips being thrown out his way as well. They know that Dahak is not having an easy start to this game.
God, that's very rough. He even lost his tower. He's queuing up the Midas. It's oh, this is the type of Doom game that we talked about earlier. The one where he's going to be more or less of a burden for a long time in this game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of expectation on, I guess, the supports and the mid laner. But even the mid laner, right, Lorinov, he's got just as much from this lane as the Pango, but still a little behind on the XP. And Natty Narwhal's had a good start here. Good shards. Pedanchik is able to catch in Rhine. That's going to be a kill here for the two of them. He's done a lot down on the bottom lane, Pedanchik, and now with these moves over towards the mid, setting up for Natty Narwhal as well. So some great early game here from the Tusk.
Yeah, I think VP is going to be in a lot of under a lot of pressure the next 10 minutes or so, right? They have this Doom who's struggling. They also have this Naga Simon who doesn't really offer much damage like we talked about, or any real impact at this phase of the game. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have the Tusk who's ready, the Vanguard on the Bristleback. Klings is online, right? They pretty much have 5 online heroes who are ready to brawl, ready to run at VP right now. And I can't help but think that you might end up, like we talked about the first pick Naga, right? And I was mentioning how...
Oh!
Oh.
Sorry, Lorinov did nearly die, but yeah, with the Naga.
Yes, to finish my point there with the Naga, it's like, when you pick this hero early, you can end up in these scenarios where your draft doesn't really have much synergy. It's something that seems to be a pattern with this hero in general. I think maybe VP fell into that trap a little bit in this game too, because who's really gonna play with each other in this game, right? Ember doesn't really have any natural heroes to play with here, outside maybe the Rubik, right? You don't have a good save for the Drow, you don't have really clear timing, so I think it's gonna be an uphill battle to play this game for VP from here on out. Mid tower under pressure here. They do have a level 6 on Rubik very early. I mean, somewhat early, which is gonna help a lot fighting back and dealing with this mid-wave pressure. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have a level 5 and 4 Shaman, so... That might save VP the next few minutes, the fact that the supports are a little bit under-leveled.
Because do you think VP, will they put a lot of effort into trying to hold this tier 1 mid?
I mean, it's not necessarily a lot of effort, but considering there's no level 6 on Shaman, right, that makes it more difficult for 4Pirates to actually commit to taking this tower. And you gotta be careful you don't run in and give away a bunch of kills, right, where you overextend. But I do think 4Pirates have the upper hand in the fighting right now.
Otaka. Oh,
Snowball.
Comes in just in time there, because Dahak was considering dropping the Doom down onto Otaka. He's still going to try and push forward. They'll get the Doom onto the Tusk, so Tusk will fall. But Otaka remains safe. So VP at least getting their first kill.
Yeah. That was pretty good. The fact that they are choosing to fight back around this mid lane is very good. I also think it's very detrimental to 4Pirates, what could you say, ability to speed up this game, that Shaman is only level 4. Like, would they be able to take this down, this mid tower, around this 10-11 minute mark right now? They could potentially snowball this game fairly hard with the diffuser blade timing, the Klings running around, the map just opening up, being much bigger, right? But the way the game is slowing down right now is definitely going to be benefiting VP, at least in the short term.
Yeah, let's try and find some of the XP here around the mid aerial. Catch himself back up.
Bot lane, Doom sniffing it out there. On the hunt with Klings and Tusk.
And Natty Narwhal clearing this a little bit of a stack. That will give him the diffusal online now for the Pangolier. So So extra bit of potential here in these early skirmishes that 4Pirates have been looking for.
We do see the Klink's item build as well, being queued up. It's a Dragonlance into the Desolator.
I like it, yeah. They're the full damage, and it's going to do great for them on the pushes as well, and the objective taking in general. We can get a good timing on this Deso. No, a good amount of minus armor, of course, between him and the nasal goo from Mr. Morale on the Bristle when they turn up to fight together.
Mm-hmm. Lucky shot. Goo.
Yeah, it's a lot actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Like these heroes will die pretty quickly. Yeah, and the tag team on top of that as well. It's a whole lot of physical.
Looks like there's gonna be a brawl around mid lane. They finally come around to take this tower. Tusk's going in here.
No, Podanchi's gone straight in. Got the backup of the Rolling Thunder coming in as they look towards Antares. And get the space to finish up the tower. Won't be able to quite lock down any of VP, so no chance to go for a kill, but they get the objective 12 minutes in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep,
They're ready
they
to-
do still have the Mass Sip and Serpent Ward as well available. Looking to smoke up right away here.
Well, Podanchi might be able to get the setup on this if he wants to. Doesn't want to try. Okay, doesn't want to go that deep there. Doesn't have enough info on what lies behind. They're going to try for the Roche
All
with the Serpent Ward. Straight into the pit they go. This might be pretty heads up. I don't know if VP's going to expect this.
No, I don't think they are. I mean, even as Klings is showing bot lane too, he's not even gonna help with this Roche. So this is very unexpected.
Yeah, absolutely. They're coming in with the smoke now, but I think this is just going to be a smoke towards the Clinks anyway. It's not like they're going to be going towards this Roshan. So just really abusing the power of this Serpent Ward early on and getting a Roshan that I think is going to caught VP by surprise.
It's a very cool move. Also, if you consider the, let's just see what plays out here on the Wisdom.
Yeah, can they get there in time? It's 5 seconds. It might be a little too hard to enter into this area. Yeah, they're going to be careful about this 4Pirates. They know VP's likely set up.
Right. So the implication of that really early Roshan, right? If you look at the, okay, is there something gonna happen again here? Oh, nice shards.
Oh, it's good shots. And Sentry's at the ready. They're in with the punch. That's going to be a dead Rubik. And now with the Rolling Thunder over towards Dahak, they can get him as well. Shackles are there for the lockdown. I mean, this Tusk here, Podanchik.
Wow, yeah.
He's making the plays happen this game. Shards after shards. And he's ready for them.
Sure. Very nice. The point I was making is that 4Pirates draft is very snowbally type of draft that has very strong timings early on, and when you kill a Roshan so early, like 14-minute Rosh, it's gonna add the second Roshan much earlier, right? Which is exactly where the 4Pirates draft really comes together and wants to potentially start going high ground. All right, with the flag. So I think that could end up being a very big deal here in this game, that the second Roshan comes much earlier. But I will see if that is going to have impact.
Yeah, because for 4Pirates, how much do you think they wish to try and achieve here with this Aegis timing on the Pango? Like, how much they want to be pushing for, or they find sort of sitting back and just keeping the game where it is so that Otter can get this Deso timing?
I think they definitely want to own like 60 to 70% of the map. I think they definitely want to run in and take over the enemy jungle like we see them doing right now. I think they were just waiting for whoever it was to heal up. But they're all ready to fight, and they definitely need to be aggressive here.
Oh, they get the Hex. They got the Shackles as well, but the song is there. We'll give a chance for Lorinov to jump out of the fight. Do they want to try and fight this? I don't think so. I think VP's going to need to run. They do turn. They've brought featuring in, so we'll be able to turn and take down at least Podanchik, but they won't be getting any more. So at least they're able to make sure nobody goes down, and they do find one kill from that.
Yeah, I mean that was for sure nice for VP. Good use of the song early on. It's not that often that you get to use the spell that effectively at this phase of the game, I would say. So, but this was a nice time where he was at the right place at the right time. poking onto the pangolin here.
Oh, the gust. Not quite there. Just on the edge.
I think also Klinks is not exactly online just yet. He did go for that Dragonlance, which means that he doesn't have as much damage as she would like. Wait, he also bought the shot actually. What's
Yeah,
that
it goes
even
super
do?
early this game, yeah.
Burning Barrage. Okay, that's the old spell he used to have. Mid lane.
I mean, they've got the catch. Still able to get out with the Remnant, but the Rolling Thunder's there. They've caught him. He's out of mana. He's not going to be able to jump away. The Hex comes in from Aerial. That's Lorinov gone. They can turn Fine Rain as well.
Lorinov has a Blade Mail. Oh god, this game is not looking good for VP now.
It's
These
looking
kills-
rough.
Yeah, the tier 2 going down bottom as well. Another factor of Klinks being so strong at taking down towers early on. But the fact that you have a Blade Mail and Ember as well means that he's queuing up Lincolns. What is the role of this hero in this game? You can hope that you press Blade Mail and everyone's focusing you. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, it's rough because
Yeah.
for the most part, as well in the mid, sure he's always like a little bit behind that of the Pango, like in levels, but he wasn't like getting dumpstered in the mid or anything, Lorinov. But now, as those last few minutes have gone on, and now with the build that he's going down, it's going to be a very hard game for the Ember. It's going to leave a lot for VTune to try and carry this game on the Drow.
For sure. I mean, all their hopes should be in Drow this game because, like, I don't think their draft has really any synergy, and maybe that's also why the Ember is buying the items that he is. Because, like, what is he really gonna buy? What kind of timings can he play around? He could try to go Maelstrom and just try to rat and drag the game out, but the way the game has been going, that doesn't seem like it's realistic at all. So I do think that the next few minutes, next 5-10 minutes is gonna be very hard for VP to hold. We have a Deso up on the Klinks now as well. I feel like 4Pirates can start threatening high ground already.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, the push is pretty insane here between the Klinks and the Shaman.
The Ember might get caught here.
Oh, he's got to be so careful.
Shaman
Sounds
wasn't
gone.
in range for that one.
They're going to go for the smoke. Whoever they catch, unless they saw the Naga Siren around with the song, saving whoever gets jumped by the Shaman.
Speaking of song, he just misclicked it, I think, on top lane. So he won't have that for a couple of minutes now.
Did they see that? Or was it?
I don't know. I don't know
That's
if they
kind of
saw
rough.
that. Yeah. They ping out the Doom here. Can he find a spot to TP in? Ah, the ogres.
They got him. Throwing out the tips as well. They know that Dahak is struggling this game. 1-5-1, whereas meanwhile Otakar on the safe lane Klinks. 5-0-3. He's had a perfect game so far. VP getting shaken up. A bit of an upset, as I said, coming into this series. This was one of the favorites. And here in this game one against 4Pirates, who came through the open qualifiers, it's not looking great for them.
No, for sure. The question now becomes, can they close out the game with this team, right? That's usually something that maybe the more experienced teams are more used to having to deal with, or whatever you want to say. But Naga's just gonna die there.
Yeah. Easy kills with this damage now of the Klinks. But indeed, that is the case. And we have seen VP, of course, recently make some pretty big comebacks when they do get far behind. So definitely still not off the table here for VP.
I don't know if this game looks... You have a Midas on Doom, you have Blade Mail, and an Ultimate Orb on Ember Spirit. So much dead net worth. They're gonna go into Bristol.
It's a good snowball. It's going to give him a few moments of safety and should be enough to get out of this. Yeah, Bristol's going to be perfectly fine. And they can maybe look to get back in on this. I'm not going to get him this time. Dahak able to slip away. But that was your effort to try and make a go with the Doom.
Yep. I mean, that doesn't bode well as well when you finally caught somebody there and he... I mean, it looks like he would, you know, be close to dying from a goal like that, but he just scratches it off completely. Also having a lot of items on this bristleback. I'm not even sure that VP's lineup outscaled the 4Pirates either.
Oh, especially not if their drow's going down and V-Tune's just been caught out behind the tier 2. That's going to be the tier 2 under threat as well.
Uh-oh, by the way, Roshan is alive already. The second Roshan, right? Now you could just go high ground because you have a wave and Drow's dead. So that's what they're gonna do here. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, why not? There's literally nothing VP can do with it. They don't have Doom. Their Drow's dead. They have no items.
Yeah, how do you stop this push? How do you get anywhere close to this Serpent Ward?
They have no spells. They have, I just think their draft offers them no real way of coming back into this game.
Definitely feels like it. This top racks under threat. And VP, what can they do? Backdoor protection will kick back in, and next creep wave follows up, and it's back off. And yeah, this is going to be that top set. Pretty much being taken down. The Serpent Ward should be able to finish that off on his own, and he will. It's the full set taken out at 23 minutes in. As, yeah, 4Pirates can pull back, and as you said, they've got a lot of options. They can keep the push going, or they can look to try and settle and get that early second Roche.
But, I mean, VP is not going to let that happen, right? They know that if they just sit back and do nothing, 4Pirates are going to get Roche, and then they're going to come knocking at the base once again. So they're going to try to do a smoke here. But it's sort of read by 4Pirates, right? The way they're posturing, they're not moving to that Roshan blindly and just getting caught from this. So very aware of what's happening.
And they've hit it with the scan as well, so they know that VP was coming around that Roshan area. So they're kind of reading the move pretty well. I think they know that VP's coming in from this angle. Quick blinks there in time, and now they're ready to get back in. They get the Rolling Thunder off. Great angle here for Natty Narwhal. He catches Dahak and V-Tune perfectly here on the steps. What a Rolling Thunder here. The song will come out. Give them a chance to get away, but no, the snowball was there. V-Tune tried to TP out during the song, but the snowball was already casted, so it just goes off automatically at the end of the snowball and interrupts his TP attempt during the song, so V-Tune is not getting out.
Yeah, he certainly isn't.
That's a rough one there for him.
Do you even need Roche now? I think you don't even need Roche,
no,
right? You can
just go high ground.
Get another Rex, yeah.
Rough game here for VP. 4Pirates, they turn up. And they're smashing them. And this has got to be feeling pretty good for 4Pirates, right? Again, you know, VP, we've seen them recently. It should be a team to be scared of, but 4Pirates, they're not scared of them at all.
No 4Pirates showing up. I mean, this is a little bit of a shocker for VP. I don't think they expected to meet so much resistance here from in the first round against an open qualifier team, right?
Yeah, just get completely crushed here.
They're getting mega 25 minutes.
25 minutes in.
I don't know if they can stop this. Okay, we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna go Roche. I mean, can't blame them.
Radiant's bottom.
But it also shows the fragile... can you say fragility? Is that a word?
Yeah, the fragility, right?
The fragility of Dota nowadays, right? The fact that teams can beat each other. Any team can beat anyone, it feels like. It really just comes down to the draft, maybe the early execution, things like that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. 4Pirates just not letting, I guess, what VP get to play this sort of slower style, this greedier style. I mean, as you say, you're not a big fan of the offlane Doom in a few situations potentially, and we definitely saw the downsides of the offlane Doom this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things you can touch on in doing the draft where they pick the Naga, right, and then they don't really have a good combo with the Naga. They also pick the Doom, but then there's a juicy Drow pick there against the Bristleback, so then they end up throwing the Doom off lane, and suddenly nothing really makes sense as a whole. I don't know if they feel that was the reasoning to why they lost, but it certainly looks like that from where I'm standing. That this was a very hard game from the very beginning, just for that reason. So we have a Lincoln Sphere on Ember, second item.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, so maybe he'll live, but what's he gonna do?
Yeah. Another Blade Mail on Doom. This is also like desperate territory, right?
Yeah.
Hoping that the Blade Mail is gonna...
And they just get the jump immediately. He'll get the Blade Mail up, but it doesn't matter. The Huck's just immediately gone. He'll come in with the buyback. And they can just chill here, 4Pirates, and reset. And just no way of starting the fight here, VP. Nautica.
Radiant's
They're not going to be able to get in there. I mean, they'll play it careful.
I also think there's something to be said for the... Because we talked about the Bristleback Drow matchup, right? And Drow being very good against Bristol. Not only in the lane, but also later on in the game, how you get by the Aghanims and things like that, and he can't really move. But I think there's something to be said up for the Naga, maybe not doing enough in the lane. That Bristleback can kind of just sit there and get CS and weather the storm of the early levels. I think if for example you have an Undying Drow, for example, it's much harder for the Bristleback to get through that phase, right? Because he just keeps getting harassed by the decays. There's the, the 100 to 0 potential from the Tombstone as well. Go and yeah, maybe that's another bait that you can get into with the Naga. That the hero is not necessarily the strongest aggressive supports.
Maybe they can set up some crazy turnaround with a song on the high ground.
Okay.
Unlikely, but maybe.
Unlikely. Okay, so what needs to go right for VP to win a fight? Maybe they can song the initial go, right? Maybe they can
Sure,
kill
and
the
just
Pango
go out
during
of the
roll
base
with the Drow.
Yeah.
Doom him, Drow clicks him down, he takes out. Maybe they can isolate supports off of that and take the fight in that way.
There we go, though. 4Pirates, they're already in on them. Looking at the bags, the Song of the Siren will come out. Not really doing a whole lot. Of course, as Rolling Thunder continues through it, they look for a Doom opportunity. They will drop the Doom down onto Natty Narwhal, but the Snowball save comes into play. They'll put the fortification, but the damage is pretty much done as they can stick around 4Pirates, look to clean up the barracks and maybe even clean up some kills. Zotka focuses down to Hack, tears through the Doom, brings down Ryan on the Naga Siren. They're cleaning them up. The buybacks are coming out, but it is over here for VP in this game one as GG is called. 4Pirates, they turn up and they dumpster them.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. Well done. Nice Clinks pick too.
At the moment, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we get ready for this one, there we go. Getting ready to go with this game too. But I will be surprised if VP get run over the same way they did in game one. Like that, it happening twice in a row. Then that's like, my goodness, these 4Pirates lads, they're going to win the whole qualifiers.
They're going to win TI.
They're going to win TI. It'll be quite the show if they're able to do what they did in game one again here in game two against VP. And VP's lineup is a very different lineup to that of game one. Does still feel like the sort of the setup. It's kind of what X Mark and Marcy jumping in with the rebound, right? It's not the easiest way to set up plays. Whereas eventually you're going to have this Sven with the stun. Maybe does get Blink Dagger down the line. Obviously going to have the Blink Dagger bat down the line as well. So the single target in the initiation does seem a bit simpler for 4Pirates. But I guess VP, they do have the global silence, which is kind of the ultimate response to those sort of moves. So maybe that's VP's plan. It's sort of like they're going to let 4Pirates fight into them and then look for the turnaround.
I mean, that could be one way of doing it, and the way you actually achieve that is something that VP's lineup excel at really well, is the fighting around objectives, right? Around the Roshan with the Ursa, around the Tormentor, again the Ursa, the Exorcism, right? Around towers. So they have that going for them, VP, that they are very good at forcing those objectives. On the other hand, I think the problem with 4Pirates drafts in some aspects is that they have a lot of carries, right? They have the Sniper, they have the Bristleback and the Terrorblade, 3 farmers, right? If if they don't have a good game on Batrider, who's actually going to make plays and make something happen on 4Pirates? That is a problem. That is something that they can run into in this game where actually nobody wants and can do anything in this game. It's just going to be Sven continually dying, and then everybody's farming, right, trying to get to their timing. But we'll see. I think maybe they rely a little bit too much on winning their lanes for Pirates for their heroes to play the game out.
Oh, so it looks like we did have a brief pause. Oh, we're getting the question mark, yeah.
I think they're talking about that Kunkka
Yeah, one of his items.
Immortal. I'm not sure what
I don't know
that
what
is
yeah,
about.
what do you know what the bug is? If there
No, I
was a
don't know.
bug?
Do you know?
No, I mean I guess I imagine it's maybe there was some bug where like one of the abilities like doesn't show or something. But I don't know what that could be.
So there's some kind of immortal Kunkka item or what? That then...
Yeah, that I'm guessing just bugs the animation of some skill maybe.
Okay.
But maybe it makes something invisible, like the torrent or the Tidebringer animation. I imagine, but no, I've not heard anything of that recently. So if that was a bug, maybe it was an old bug.
It seems like that.
Consistent bug.
That seems to be the reason of the pause.
Yeah.
To find out something like that.
Well,
Okay.
looks like we're gonna go. So I imagine it's we'll find out. The Kunkka turns up to a lane and suddenly these invisible torrents or something are coming out. But which is fair play. That's why Oscar, I imagine, was trying to check that now, so that if they needed to change the cosmetic, they could get it done before the game starts. But looks like we're all clear. So whatever bug is not a bug anymore.
Well,
Maybe still some issues. Yeah, looks like we're clear to play. So whatever the immortal bug is, it shouldn't be a problem. But we'll keep our eyes out for you boys and girls at home. Here we go. Can they do it again for Pirates?
I'm a little skeptical now that I look at their lineup, like we talked about just now. By the way, they did this exact same thing last game.
Yeah, they stood
sat
exactly
four
here,
heroes
right?
in
Yeah.
their ancients, and then they did this late smoke. Actually, very cool. I mean, that does show that they're prepared for this, right? This is a setup that they've been talking about, that they feel like is the most safe, or whatever it might, their logic might be. It's pretty cool.
Утратив все до конца, мы обретаем свободу.
VP did also do the same thing, to be fair. They also smoked, and he placed the same ward last game, so a little bit of things to look for there in the replays for future teams.
Yeah,
I wonder how this game plays out, because go ahead.
No, I just wondered if they were going to try and contest for the top room, but yeah, they don't. Nothing this time, just the two
Okay,
bounties.
But yeah, I wonder how this game's gonna play out, just because there's so many farmers on 4Pirates, right? And that just means that you are gonna be playing on your own side of the map. You're gonna be playing your lanes a bit longer, perhaps, than you normally would, right? Compared to last game, where you start running around with both supports and start taking towers and making moves across the map. This time around, you're going to be playing a very different style. You're going to be extending the lane phase as long as you can. Just sit and farm creeps. Whereas on the other hand, DP, they have a bit more potential to make rotations happen. Perhaps with a DP level 6, Kunkka level 6, things like that.
A little bit of a rough first wave there from Natty Narble. Only got the one CS. To get that range creep denied. Lauren was able to find that. Because I mean, do you sort of consider that the harassment that the sniper can do in the mid lane against the Kunkka enough to bully him, or is the Kunkka going to out CS him?
I do think it gets worse for Kunkka, as by level 3 with the shrapnel you are gonna get zoned quite a bit, but it's definitely not as bad this matchup as certain other melee versus sniper matchups.
Yeah.
like Ember, like I don't know. There are other matchups that are a bit worse, I think. But I mean, overall, Sniper is a very annoying laner.
Yeah, keeping
You
low
also
enough
have
pretty low.
options for Kunkka perhaps when you start getting a bit more levels, then you can go jungle, things like that, right? Whereas other heroes might struggle more in that aspect.
And would you imagine you just max shrapnel, right, and go for kills?
Yeah, I think so. He did go for the facet that like keeps the old shrapnel duration and doesn't just have one tick. I actually don't know. I don't see that much sniper. I don't know what's normal. Maybe this when you're playing core sniper like this, maybe it is better to have the because this one is actually very good, right?
Top lane.
So actually just gonna go down.
Yeah, they're able to get him with the spam. Chase him down and get that first blood, and Ottica already throwing tips out from the other side of the map.
You don't want to give a good start to mess the morale's bristleback like this.
Yeah, it looked pretty darn good last game. Yeah, so if he once again gets a good timing on that early Vanguard, if he wishes to go the same route, he's going to be quite tough to bully out of this. And bottom lane, I mean, it's not looking easy for them to really pressure the Terrorblade, and if anything, they've got to be careful right on this Death Prophet. In case they want to go for some sort of early play once the level 3 is there, if they want to take a point in the meta.
Yeah, no meta yet actually. Let's see what if he chooses to go for that, or if he just decides, okay, I'm just gonna go 2 points Illusion and just farm. I have no interest in trying to get baited into going for some kill or anything like that.
And I was trying for the setup there onto Banchik, but you can just turn and trade back. Mid lane. It's we are starting to see Natty Narwhal get that lead, 19-9 against the 13-4. And pressure adding up a bit now for Lorinov. Could have a tough game last game. And bottom Ottica just holding that skill point, ready to consider whatever situation he ends up in. They do want to try and get aggressive or just focus on keeping the wave and farming up as he is.
And not too much happening. I think VP are pretty happy with the way lanes are going. I mean, realistically, both teams should be pretty happy. That's how it's going right now. I think especially top lane. I mean, Ursa Cias is good, but I think getting away with getting such a good start onto the bad and bristleback lane is going to be very, very nice.
Well, this mid definitely getting rougher. Lorinov having to just continue to keep the tangos out, so he's got some form of regen to be able to stay in the lane.
I think it also gets to a point where every time you try to get set up for a CS, you almost have to buy a salve afterwards, right? And then it's just not worth laning anymore. Like we see him right now, just going jungle, because like you can't just keep buying more and more regen.
Bottom lane. Trying to go for Pedanchik. They've got the match at the ready. Pedanchik, he's able to get away. They didn't have enough to kill him off. See if they can escape themselves here. And Tara's on the retreat. The little body blows coming in from Dahak, so they'll be able to protect their own support. The rotation coming in.
Barely level 6.
The shrapnel, it will get Antares. And now Dahak's in a rough spot. I mean, where does he go? He's got nowhere to run.
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Yeah. Only into Roshan.
Just got shot in the face.
You can't. You can't.
Just blasted there, and of course they're happy to throw out the tips. That kills like this going to feel pretty good, and they know they wasted quite a bit of time of Dahak's there, where he's just sort of running around in the river. And they kill him off. Ace Dream will be there for Lorinov, so we'll allow him to get out safely. And he's actually going to look to try and turn it into a play up top. Maybe see if they can go for Mr. Morale. Got the X mark. TP's coming in. With the stun up at the torrent, into the jump forward. They get in onto the two of them. The boat comes crashing down as well. VP able to group up and clean up the both of them.
Yeah, and what are they going to do now? There's Wisdom spawning in 30 seconds.
attack.
Seems like they're moving towards mid here, but it's better to just try
Ariel.
to...
Ariel's trying to poke the Kunkka here. It's not going to happen. Can he actually get
Sniper's
away from
pretty
this?
strong here, though.
I mean,
Oh,
they're able to
Ursa
bring him back over
is
towards the
also
Ursa.
here.
Vichu's turned up and he's tearing apart the Sniper. Sniper gets the kill, but he goes down for that one. They get the X-Mark dragged back, and that's Vichu just casually heading over to the mid 7 minutes in and picking up a double kill as this carry.
I think that the fact that V2 is there saves this whole scenario. Right?
Yeah, it really
the fact that
does.
he's actually running over there as well instead of staying in the lane. I think a lot of carry players would have just continued to farm the lane, right?
And look at this.
Both heroes.
He's going to get another one. Okay, Rain will
he
take the
is.
last hit, but these are big kills to get the Ursa involved with early on.
Has been killed.
Yeah, very, very good play by V2.
Radiant's bottom
Because like, if he wasn't there, I think Sniper actually cleans up that fight in the river there.
Oh, VP getting themselves a bit of a lead this time. Looking much more solid from them in the early game.
Kunkka TB's on bottom here. Just set up on the TB.
dire structures are
Oh,
falling.
he's looking
With
at
the
a
gate
bit.
as well from Silencer.
Yeah, he's looking pretty dead here, Otaka. I think starting to see more of the VP that we expected to here in this game 2 opening.
Under attack.
Yeah, it's crazy how so little things in this way can determine the game. Because like it looked so good 2 minutes ago
Structures are falling.
everywhere for Pirates, right? And now suddenly, after 1 or 2 good rotations by the Kunkka and the Ursa, suddenly it's complete opposite. Okay, this is also the kind of nice play by the Batrider, dragging the wave away. He might end up dying for it, but still sort of worth it. Wasting the first exorcism, if you could call it wasted. At least you keep the tower alive.
Yeah, it gives the chance for Otaka to maybe spend a bit more time down here now with that tower still up. Yeah, slowing down the progress of VP a little bit on what they were trying to achieve down there.
Also seems like a harder game to play Bristleback at this phase of the game at least, because now if you ever get caught, you will die to the Ursa. Last game, it was less liked, right? Drow just doesn't output the same amount of damage early on. And the incentive to go for the Vanguard is also lower here, because the Ursa still chews through the HP.
Ariel might start looking to get some stacks going soon. They've got some good sort of boost of gold and XP to fall back on. I'm on
Yeah.
it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Around the middle, I mean, mid's pretty scary enough. If Florinoff gets any sort of setup with the X mark and has a +1 around like Antares, it's very easy to get the kill. So Natty Narwhal's got to be careful with his positioning. Keep his distance. Let's get the invis, but unlikely to make a move with it. Just got the couple of stacks here if he wants to clear those up safely. Same time though, smoke players coming in from VP, heading the way of Pedanchik and Otaka down in this bottom lane, coming through the twin gate as well. They've got the 4 of them, and Rain, of course, he's level 6, has the global ready to play with. Full 5 of them now, in fact, here. Looking for this action, and they'll find him. The global silence will come out. They're looking towards Otaka. They'll drag him back into the stun, into the turret. They've got him. Easy couple of kills for VP as they take the double here for Antares, and they're able to look towards the town. A bit of a pause coming out. We'll see what the reason for that one is, but I mean, you know, there was a lot of tipping coming out earlier, so it's always tempting to pause back. But I'm sure it's not a toxic pause. They wouldn't do that. It's just, you know, something's gone wrong. But if this was me and they've been tipping me, I'm not a pauser, actually. I wouldn't do that. But some people would.
Like it's a spam F9. Watch the in the game. Yeah, that is. Some people will do that.
Let's have a look. I mean, you're not defending this tower, right? You just let this tower go.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think you really can fight, because what are you fighting back with, right? That's a little bit of a problem with 4Pirates drafts, is that when this type of situation happens in the laning phase, you start and it breaks up and you start getting picked apart across the map, then it's really hard to actually fight back. You have no real spells. You have to rely on them running into you and getting more and more farm on your heroes. We have a WEU Scepter queued up by the Bristleback, by the way. That's a different approach.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we're super strong against the Ursa. Someone wants to get it. Mr. Morrow says I'll be the man to do it.
Can they get the Kunkka here? It would be a very big kill.
Why, yeah, he's not expecting this, Lorinoff. Torrent is going to be dodged. They bring him down. Yeah, it was not ready at all for that sort of rotation to come in. Catches him completely by surprise. A good kill there for Natty Narwhal. Getting the gold here as the sniper. Same time around the mid. Tyrus gets to lead it. So beginning with a jump. And lasso TP attempts being made, and I tell you what, it's going to work. He gets out, Aerial. Heads up play from him there, and Natty Narwhal, he might just find a kill off the back. The smoke's there in time, though.
Nice. You know, he actually gave the smoke to the silencer inventory.
Yeah, I saw that as well, because it was...
smoke was on cooldown from backpack, right? And he gave it over. That was some good stuff.
Yeah, that was heads up coming in from Antares.
Yeah.
That's the Battle Fury timing done. So, V-Tune, amongst all the chaos, he's having a great game. Got involved in those early kills. 7k net worth nearly. Zooming ahead on the gold, and that Battle Fury is only going to speed it up with this early timing in the mid.
Mid lane.
They've got the setup. Able to walk up, get the X mark. Not able to actually burst him all the way down, though. He's still perfectly fine in Natty Narwhal. Didn't quite have enough to truly threaten the sniper here with the three of them.
He's quite tanky, actually. He pops strength threats and has a wand. He's 1500 HP. You need a lot more to bring sniper down. That hero is deceptively tanky.
Yeah, it can be very slippery as well once he's got the Hurricane Pike online and eventually that shard. Has got ways to get away.
Is this the sign of a good sniper player? The fact that you know how to connect the camps like this in between the trees?
What do you get the maximum sort of effectiveness with the shrapnels?
I mean, I saw him earlier as well. He pulled both camps, and then there's these trees there.
Yep.
The one at the bottom and next to the shrine outpost, and then the other two. They kind of make this concave where the creeps run through the shrapnel and get blocked by the tree, and farming patterns.
Yeah, it's looking good for Natty so far. Only caught out the once. 4-1-0 on this sniper. Second highest on the net worth hit so far, 14 minutes in. Still, this Hearst is definitely going to be a problem. V-Tune is out of control. Very close to having the Blink Dagger on top of the Battle Fury. And he's got a huge lead as this Ursa. I mean, how is it a good Ursa game, or are there going to be difficulties still, even though the Ursa's this farm down the line? Like, do they have good ways to deal with the Ursa?
I mean, the fact that Bristleback is going Yields does help quite a bit, right? They have the Sven armor, not necessarily the easiest targets for Ursa to find in the sniper and the TP. I think it's an okay Ursa game. Obviously, when you start getting Blink Daggers early and start getting Aegis on Ursa, like, the hero pretty much kills anything, right? But I think as the game progresses, it might be harder and harder for him to kill targets in fights. We'll see. Bat is closing in on his Blink Dagger. That's going to be very, very important for 4Pirates here, for them to be able to make plays. Also just be threatening on the map. They are smoking up here. Pre-blink.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Let's see what they go for
Maybe
with this.
anticipating this type of mid wrap around here.
I mean, they've seen Lorinoff do this a couple of times where he's just Xing himself and clearing the creep wave. So maybe trying to punish that, but he's got a lot of backup, Lorinoff.
Yeah, there's 5 heroes mid here.
They're trying for the flame, but they're trying to catch Lorinoff first. They will get him, but the blade mail comes out in time, as well as the global silence. In the middle, V-Tune will make the jump over towards Pedanchik. They brought down the Sven. And now coming in with the ultimate, they're going to try and for attack. but Otaku's just able to turn, stand his ground, take down Dahak, and Antares, he's got to run. The Assassinate comes in, the Yules controls there from Mr. Morale. VP, they try and poke with the 5 of them, but 4Pirates, they're more than happy to turn up and defend, get Otaku involved, and they hold that defense easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if this is gonna be the rest of the story for the rest of the game, but there at least we see some of the problems that VP could run into in the future, right? You see the sniper, he's so far away from everybody and still dealing damage. And there's no real good way of getting on top of him, especially when the Kunkka is the one getting jumped at first, right? If you don't start the fight with Ursa jumping sniper or somehow locking him down with Marcy or the X-Mark, there's just no way to not get kited backwards, right? And how's DP going to be able to deal damage in this game? It's very difficult, I think.
Yeah, because what the Terrorblade and the Sniper, especially when the meta's up, the two of them can just focus the Death Prophet, and you just got no chance of surviving through that.
Correct. I think this does, you know, it just tell a story that the VP needs to really consider how they take these fights. It's not always that obvious. They still have a lead, they still have good heroes overall, but it's not necessarily an easy way to close out this game against all these backliners and against, you know, these heroes. So I think the Bat Rider with Blink now also gives an opportunity for 4Pirates to really take the game into their hands and start making plays for themselves.
Oh, for sure, yeah, they can definitely start to try and group up around the Terrorblade attack and get some of these objectives. Starting to get closer and closer to putting pressure onto the tier 1. And I'd imagine with the way that fight went down as well, like 4Pirates, do you think they would not be afraid if they do feel that like VP's trying to go for some sort of Roshan play? They will be quick to smoke up and contest it? Or do they let them have it because the team fight around those areas is still a bit too much?
I think it just depends on when VP does it and what the lanes look like and stuff like this. It's not necessarily so clear cut because they do have pretty annoying heroes around the pit, right? Like the goo, what's it called? The hairball, throw it in there, right? The illusion scouting, the sniper shrapnel. Like they have a lot of ways that makes it difficult for VP to just straight up take it in this game. I think around minute 20 we're gonna see them try to attempt because it's harder for Radiant to contest that one potentially. Similarly, the Tormentor might also be a fighting point, as it usually is. But I don't think VP would really go for the Roshan on top lane. It just feels like that high ground there on the left is just the perfect spot for Bristleback to kite back and forth, right? Same with the Sniper. Terrain doesn't really play in your favor.
Tier 1 slowly getting chipped away here by the Terrorblade. You can see ready to join him as well, Ariel. If anyone does show up solo, he might look for the Blink Lasso play and dragging them back into the damage of the Metamorphosis from the Terrorblade could be a chance of a kill. Have to be a bit careful with the TP. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is a little harder now. Unless they have like kind of the Sniper or something as well. They've got the 4 of them here. And Maelstrom is online for Sniper. He's TPing over as well, so they're going to bring the 5-man up top here for 4Pirates. See what they go for with the smoke. And VP doing a good job of not showing.
Both teams are playing very, very careful. I think that's a good thing. Not getting caught out by the smokes. The same with what we saw earlier, right? When the VP went 5-manning mid. Marcy will get caught.
No! Yeah, they got him.
And that's the Tormentor. And VP ready for this one actually. So really heads up by 4Pirates as well, right? 4-manning, 5-manning this top tower right before the Tormentor spawns. And VP are not in a position where they can take Roshan in a return or anything, so...
I mean, if they find V-Tune down here as well, that's going to be pretty insane.
They see him, right?
He's out. He's not sticking around here a moment too long. Yeah, he's away in the trees. And that is the BKB online for him now. So next time, even if they do find him, yeah, this bear's going to be ready to fight back. I see another smoke. Still trying to see if they can make something happen with the Blink Dagger from Ariel's bat.
But this time VP going to be ready. 5 vs 5 heroes here.
Get it on the Sven. The stun on the Yours are there. They'll be able to hold back the Ursa. Now with the jump forward, the Global Silence will come out. They have the X mark onto Otaka. They're trying to step forward, but he's able to get out from the combo. Otaka's going to be perfectly fine, and now he's considering trying to get back in there. VP, they have to back off. And that's the Global and the Exorcism drop for nothing.
Yeah, again, it's just hard for VP to latch onto any heroes, right? I think that was a very important global. Does he not global there? The Ursa gets lassoed and probably just dies from 100 to 0. He didn't pop BKB, he didn't pop Enrage, so yeah, I think that was a very important global, and even then, they don't get anything out of it. In fact, they even lose their mid tower as a result, right? And now, I don't know if 4Pirates have the will to go for Roshan here. But
oh, it could be tempting, right? With those ultimates on cooldown.
I think it's a bit risky though.
Okay.
But it's a bit definitely risky.
You got to get past the bristle though, and there's the lasso. Aero's actually able to get in, get the jump. He's not quite able to drag him down to the low ground, so Dahak's still up there on the high ground. They'll look to try and jump him out of this. The Assassinate's coming in though. He's healing up with the Siphon. It's not enough to stay alive. Dahak falls, and Tyrus goes down as well. And they might even see if they can dive the tier 2. We'll see how much they want to try and push it. The stun comes in from Podanchik. He's been able to turn, get the bow out in return, but Lorinov still gets peeped down by Natty Narwhal on the sniper. 4Pirates, dude, these guys are good, Misery.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're making a lot of good moves in this game. Very unique drafts as well. I think it's nice to see, for sure. This was also a good move just because you're not committing for the Roche, right? You're not...
Yeah.
The goal isn't Roche itself. The goal is that, hey, they don't have Exorcism, they don't have Global. Let's start hitting Roshan, and, well, if they give it, great. If not, then we're going to jump them. And this is exactly what happened. And, I don't know, I just think the sniper hero, it's a big problem for VP. How do you get to this guy in the fight? There are so many things that you have to worry about before you get to him. Getting lassoed, the Sven in front, the Bristle in front, right? Even if you do get an all in the sniper, there's still the Terrorblade as well, who's another turret hero, right? That's just gonna output insane amounts of damage. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're also buying all this Crimson Guard, a Vessel. They're good items on DP, but it doesn't help you with the core of the problem. Is that if you cannot get on top of the heroes, then you just don't have a way of winning the fight.
And that's, you know, I mean, the next fight's going to have this full Miona, and that just steps up the damage output from the sniper pretty insanely.
Yeah, it's also nice combo the way they're thinking about this Bristleback hero. I don't know if this is intentional, but the fact that he's the Scoo, Bristleback, and then they have these backliners. Last game was Clinks. This game it's Sniper, right? It makes a lot of sense. You get all this minus armor, and it's hard to play against.
Yeah. And even for Vichum, right, on this Ursa, he's been having a super clean game. He's been smashing the timings, but to try and carry as an Ursa into this, kind of in particular, the Sniper and the Terrorblade, they're able to sort of kite him out. It's so difficult. He's got a lot on his hands here as the Ursa.
Definitely hard game for VB to play. They're definitely not out of it, though. They are setting up this fight here. Sniper is hitting the tower, showing on vision. He does have the Aegis though, but this is maybe an opportunity for them to jump him actually.
Yeah, let's see if they can do it twice. Get the drag back into the bow. Stun holds back the 3 of them though. They can't take him out that cleanly. He's not even going to go down at once, and now he's ready to turn. They've got the lasso on a Dahak. He'll die. Or just a bit of a bait. I mean, it did feel like that, you know, 4Pirates, they were ready. They were, you know, come at me, bro. They weren't scared at all.
No, they weren't. Also, normally when a sniper hits like that and you get jumped, you imagine him dying much faster, the first life at least, right? But he doesn't even lose the Aegis. And then the 3-man Ravage from Storm, like the Sven Stormhammer comes out. Also kind of crazy idea that this hero is going to stun 3 heroes in the fight, right? VP are still lingering around though. Not sure what they are considering here. Are we just gonna go high ground?
I mean, they got what? Yeah, 2 minutes on the Aegis. I guess they're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. We have meta.
VP, what do you do? Are they going to try and jump this from the back and just see what happens?
That's at least what they're thinking, but
Like-
I understand why they're hesitating. It's not.
Yeah, they're
it's
like,
not
do we
it's not
really want to
looking
do
easy.
this?
It doesn't look easy, yeah.
And they're
They're
losing the
probably hoping
base.
somebody is out of position, right? Like the right angle.
Okay, they're going to try and make the jump. They're in with the global silence. They get the control here on towards Attacker, but already that's both supports dead. The Ursa is trying to stay on top of Attacker, but he can't. The Nasso's there. They lock down Vici and will get the Enrage off and try and run. You see on the back lines, you've got Mr. Morale just kiting Lauren off, forcing the Kunkka back. Natty Narwhal finishes off the Ursa. They can dive down and chase out the Kunkka as well. They get their kills, they get the barracks. 4Pirates. People have got to start very quickly taking this team seriously. They've turned up today, and in this first series against VP, they're upsetting one of the favorites massively.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, but I mean, it's put VP or like any team in the position that they were in 2 minutes ago from that high ground. It just doesn't look like it's really possible to take a good fight, right? There's just something about it. They're just getting outranged every fight, right? How many times in this game have we seen the DP get in this middle spot, right, where she's committed, but she can't really get to anyone, and then she starts running away and just dies, right? That seems to be the problem with this hero is facing in this particular game, at least.
So they've got here. Another one.
Kane dies again, yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe this is you gotta stop banning sniper against these guys. It's too much to deal with.
Certainly looking like it. Natty Narwhal only been caught the once this game.
Yeah, and that was in the river at minute 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the very just early death. It's the Aegis gone, but they got a lot done with it, pushing the game up to a 12k lead now here in game 2 for Pirates.
Okay, we see is Kunkka gonna get caught here? He's getting chased by a lot of heroes.
Whoop.
Yeah,
That's close.
that was close actually.
Dire's top tower.
But I mean, just to make a comparison, for example, with the Sven 5, I think looks pretty strong.
Yep.
Comparing it to the Naga, for example, from last game, right? What really is the incentive to pick Naga over Sven? I feel like Sven just looks like a better 5. It's easier to play. It keeps things simple, right? You just follow people around. You have a nice stun. You give armor. It just there's not all this like shenanigans and hard execution. I just think it looks really good. I think we're gonna see more of the Sven 5. Combos really well with a wide range of ranged carries, right?
Dire's middle tower is under
Oh yeah, it does. The lane, is they didn't necessarily win it or anything, but attacker gets out of it. Still with a good amount of farm. We see at this point of the game, he's managed to catch right back up as the Terrorblade. And yeah, just saw the timings, the way they're able to move around the map, push for these objectives, and seemingly be too much for VP to fight into as a team. I'll see 4Pirates. I'll see what the call's going to be next. Smoke coming out from VP, yeah. They've got to find something. They've got the ultimates, but they have to be sure that they can kill someone off, ideally one of the big targets, either the Sniper or the Terrorblade, during the coverage of the Global Silence. It's full Butterfly, now online for Attacker.
It seems to be an okay angle here they're coming from, but actually 4Pirates move out of the river. So now they're just kind of circling around each other.
scanning.
Right,
If
just start tickling the base.
hitting,
Yeah, they got to do something sooner, VP. And 4Pirates are going to definitely start to figure out where it is likely that VP's trying to strike from. The ghosts are out. They're going to try and run into this. They're looking towards Attacker. See if they can bring down this Terrorblade. They'll catch him in the torrent, but he's forced out to the side. He'll get the Sun Drop. Back up to full HP here. Vici, he's going to try and do his best to stay on top of Attacker, but he cannot do so. Has to fall back. They've lost the Master. They've lost the hack. They only managed to kill off the support, Sven.
yeah, I mean that's a Terrorblade with Butterfly, right? You're not gonna 100-0 this guy with all the support behind him, and again, they just get kited, right? Once they reveal themselves and 4Pirates start scattering around the fight and they start showing shrapnel down and the flame break, napalms on the ground, stuff like this, then you're just gonna get kited.
They're trying to go on attacker again. They put the X mark. Try with a pullback here, but you know, Attacker just living on the edge, and he's getting away with it. Because Lorinov dies for his efforts. He's out for 50 seconds. No buyback. The push can continue here if they want from 4Pirates. Assassinate coming in. It's a dead silencer.
What a terrible matchup that has to be. The silencer sniper. You just
At
don't
this point,
do
yeah,
anything to the sniper in the game.
Definitely not a fun one for Ryan. Had a pretty good start, was getting some early in, but yeah, at this point, cannot step anywhere close to the fight. Has to sit back and just get ready to press R. That's about it. That's the mid-rank gone.
Gotta commend Mr. Morale as well with this Yule's pickup, right? The face Yule's build, adjusting his item build from last game to this game where he's playing against Ursa, he's playing against Silencer and DP, right? And X-Mark as well. Like, Yule's is an amazing item in this game.
Yeah, maybe just the hero in particular on this player. The team's got to respect it. Now, but 2 lane matchups which could have been tough ones. You know, laning against a Drow, laning against an Ursa, but for Mr. Morale, it was easy. Nice Roshan.
Do we have any more smokes on BP? It doesn't look like it. The smoke at the Roshan is already dead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There we go. He immediately smoked up here behind the Ursa. Daedalus online now here for the sniper.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This might be VP's last attempt here in this series. If it doesn't go too hot. They've been found.
They use the banner on the high ground. They see everybody.
Attacker just immediately kills Antares. Antares tries to get on top of Attacker. Attacker turns, takes him down. They clean up the hack. The rest of the team will try and bail out of here. They will make it away. But of course, 4Pirates, they don't care at all. They don't need to kill heroes. They're just ready to kill the base. Bringing in the creep wave and ready to start eyeing up that final set of barracks up on the top lane.
Yeah, this looks like it's game. I mean, there's really nothing you can really do with VP at this point.
It's VP. Do they have a final fight in them? Lasso's there. They've caught the Conquer. Lorinov's out. He doesn't have buyback.
The thing is, even every fight, it's like they don't even get to take the fight, right?
I saw
they
it,
just
yeah.
don't. They don't really get to click spells. They're all.
Oh, look at that. The GG's had a little bit of a smiley face coming out there from them. I think they're going to be pretty excited.